Well, the original idea for Scéal came about when I was living in a place called Newfoundland in Canada. It has a very Celtic culture to it. A lot of people from Ireland emigrated there over the years. And it got me thinking while I was there a little bit about Ireland itself, like home and what our culture, the elements of it, our mythology, the music, the traditions. And I was trying to think about, how we could leverage those to make a game that was a bit more unique, a bit more interesting and distinctive. And around about the same time, a colleague of mine had recommended this film to me called The Secret of Kells, which basically did exactly that. It's a really beautiful animated film that has, it draws very heavily on Irish mythology and Celtic symbolism. The things that inspired Scéal the most, the things that stand out to me when I think of this right now, first of all would be the game called Limbo. When it came out, at the time, it really blew me away. It's a simple, straightforward platforming game, a bit like Mario, but with this incredibly polished audio-visual experience. The character will walk through a forest, you'll see these huge trees behind it sort of animating in the dark and the shade. You'll hear the wind rustling through the trees and the sound of owls and animals in the distance, branches snapping. It creates this wonderful kind of ambience. So I was thinking about Scéal and I was thinking this would be a really lovely way to present it, and the things we could do to change it would be to add in a lot more color, to make it a lot more dynamic and vivid. Another thing that was a big influence on the design and concepting for Scéal was the movie Groundhog Day, where the character Bill Murray is stuck like a fly in amber and trapped in one day that loops repeatedly. And I thought this would be a really interesting challenge or puzzle for players, where your character has to repeat the same day over and over, but each time they can tweak what they do, they can change things. But as you go through it, you get to know more of what's going on. So it's an interesting way to recycle a story, if you will, and change it a little bit each time.
With the game, we wanted to achieve a couple things. First of all, we wanted that the game is visually appealing to the player, that it looks beautiful. For example, like the game Limbo that Sandro mentioned before. Also, we wanted to achieve that it's easy accessible and easy to control for the players. And we wanted to make it easy to control on touchscreens.
So there was one character in it. She's like a spirit. She looks like a ghost, the ghost of a little girl with this long wavy hair. And that really started me thinking, okay, so maybe we could do a game that was based around a ghost. And that really just opened up all these new ideas about what kind of features we could have in the game. So it really just went from there. We chose to use the village of Carlingford in County Louth as the setting for Scéal. Mainly because of two things. It's a place, it's near where I grew up, so it's somewhere that I know really well. I used to explore every nook and cranny of it as a kid, playing in the fields and in the ruined castles. It also has a really, really lovely setting. You have this beautiful little medieval village. You have your ruined castle, King John's Castle, a fishing pier. You have a ruined abbey and various other medieval elements in the village. So there's a lot of beautiful imagery that we could use in a game there. But also it's set right behind it. It has the mountain of Slieve Foy with a forest on it, looming over it, so to speak. And then it has Carlingford Lough, the bay right there in front of it. So from the point of view of creating a place in a game and environment, there's a lot of really useful ideas that Carlingford was able to give us.